just got done watching Game 4 of the second round of the Western Conference NBA playoffs between the Denver Nuggets and the Phoenix Suns. Tonight, the Phoenix Suns took it 129-124 in a game that was incredible. The shot making in this game, the offensive skill sets that we saw were truly an honor and a privilege to watch. And it's incredible to be an NBA basketball fan in the year 2023, and the fact that we got a guy like Victor Wembanyama coming in the league next year. But this league has so many skilled, so many unbelievable basketball players. We got done watching the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers a couple hours ago, and James Harden, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum had a nasty step back three. And then tonight, we had four guys go crazy. And then Landry Shamet was unbelievable. You could legitimately have said, depending on the outcome of this game, that this was the Devin Booker game, the Landry Shamet game, or the Nikola Jokic game. And Kevin Durant had 36 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists. And then Jamal Murray on the other side had 28 points and 7 assists. You're talking about basketball being played at the highest level on the offensive end of the court that we've ever seen. Guys are able to do anything you want them to do and score on all three levels. And it's just a privilege to watch. We need to appreciate some of these guys, their games, the uniqueness of the games, the way that Devin Booker's so different from Nikola Jokic, the way that Kevin Durant's so different from Jamal Murray, yet they're all able to dominate in their own ways at the NBA level. And I don't know that I've ever noticed how dramatic it is, because in years past it felt like it was a wings game, then it kind of moved to a guard game, and now it feels like you have Nikola Jokic who plays his style, and Kevin Durant, LeBron, Ja Morant, like all these guys are totally different basketball players, but it's all unbelievable to watch. We're going to talk about this game and kind of some of the things that I saw, some of the things we'll look for going into Game 5, going back to Denver. Before we do, take a second to subscribe to the channel. We're up over 1,200 subscribers, actually getting pretty close to 1,300. And we're talking a ton of hoops over here. Really enjoyed it. Love interacting with y'all. So appreciate y'all watching. Appreciate the support. So let me read some of these stat lines for you real quick. Devin Booker had 36 points, 12 assists, 6 rebounds on 14 of 18 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3. His efficiency through the roof. Landry Shamet, 19 points, a plus 15 while he was on the court. He was fantastic tonight. Kevin Durant, 36 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists on 11 of 19 shooting. The efficiency on both sides of the floor was incredible. The Suns, as a team, shot 57% from the floor, 45% from the three-point range. They don't shoot a ton of threes, as we know, but they're 45% on the ones they did take. Tonight, Nikola Jokic had 53 points, 11 assists. Jamal Murray had 28 points. The Denver Nuggets had 72 points in the paint, and the Phoenix Suns won the rebounding battle. They shot 14% better from 3, and both teams shot over 56% from the floor. You just have to sit back sometimes and appreciate what you're seeing. Devin Booker in the third quarter was hitting shots and hit back-to-back threes that just make you sit there in awe. And the jump that his game has taken from a couple years ago to where he is now, his 3-level scoring ability was always very good. He was always a very good scorer, a great mid-range player, and good at drawing fouls, getting to the free throw line, and hitting those at a high level. His 3-point shot feels like it's really ticked up in these playoffs, and he's playing at the highest level that we've ever seen. He's cemented himself in a top 10 player in the NBA conversation. And the fact that you brought on Kevin Durant and Devin Booker looks like the better player is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And then we had Nikola Jokic on the other side. Like I said, 53 points. The only centers ever to score 50-plus points in a game, Wilt Chamberlain and now Nikola Jokic. That's incredible. That's an incredible performance. They couldn't do anything with him down low. He was hitting from all over the court. His ability to finish, just awesome to watch. Going back to the Suns, though, because I think the key tonight was that Landry Shamet run. Now, obviously, Devin Booker and Durant have been so great in this series. They had 72 combined points tonight. But Landry Shamet, the Nuggets were trying to make a run, and Shamet hit 4 threes within a span of a couple minutes. And I think that was the difference in the game. And, while we're on that topic, Landry Shamet does make my top 5 ugliest players in the NBA list. He's on the list. He submitted his name respectfully on the list. So congrats to you, Landry Shamet. You're on my list for top 5 ugliest players in the NBA. Now, let's talk about as far as the Phoenix Suns. Interesting that DeAndre Ayton played 27 minutes. Now, he was in foul trouble a lot. But they were a minus 13 when DeAndre Ayton was on the floor. And when Jack Landale was on the floor, they were a plus 16. Landale had 8 points, 5 rebounds, so it wasn't like he had an overly impressive stat line. But this Phoenix Suns, there's something weird going on with the DeAndre Ayton stuff. We saw that he wouldn't give Chris Paul a high five after last game. This game kind of played limited minutes, again, probably because of the foul issues. But Landale seems to be taking that role a lot. And speaking of CP3, the fact that he went down we thought would be worrisome because of the lack of depth. Well, it's kind of forced them to go deeper into their bench, and I think that's been a really good thing for the Phoenix Suns. They're starting to play. I mean, Terrence Ross got 17 minutes. Landry Shamet got 30 minutes. Like we said, Landale got 21. TJ Warren got 19 minutes. All those guys I thought were going to contribute to their playoff run, but they weren't really using them in games 1 and 2. Now, they actually won the bench battle tonight, which is really impressive because, again, the depth of the Phoenix Suns has been the concern in the playoffs. But the thing that'll be interesting to watch, it's a very common thing, but role players play a lot better when they're at home. So going back to Denver, going to Game 5 and Denver going in that altitude, only a couple days rest, how will those role players bounce back? Will Shamet be able to play at a high level again, or will someone else step up? That remains to be the question, I think. The Phoenix Suns are going to have to find a way to limit the Nuggets offense somehow, because the fact that you're asking for 70 to 80 points from Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, and it's almost not enough, is very scary. Now, those two guys are completely capable of going ballistic like they did tonight. But on a night-to-night basis, you would prefer that you don't have to score 129 points to win when you're sometimes so lacking in depth. And 3 of your starters gave you nothing tonight. Okogie had 4. DeAndre Ayton had 8 points. Cameron Payne had 5 points. He was 2 of 8, so he struggled. All in all, I was impressed with what I saw from the Phoenix Suns, but it really comes down to the high-level shot making of Devin Booker. And then we know what Kevin Durant represents. We know that this guy's been one of the top 5 players in the NBA for the last 10 years. And, he continues to prove what he's capable of. But Devin Booker has actually kind of stood out as the best player on this team. And I think he's really moved himself, cemented himself in like the superstar class. Even that run they made to the finals a couple years ago where they lost to the Milwaukee Bucks, I don't think Booker was playing at the level he is this year. I think he's taken a nice step forward. And he's a guy that just grinds in the gym. He loves hoops because his game, his footwork, his shot-making ability, his control of his body, all of it's unbelievable. You love his competitive fire. You see how frustrated he gets defensively. I do want to touch briefly on the Denver Nuggets. Tonight, they just did. Nikola Jokic was unbelievable. Jamal Murray was great. They did not get enough help from their other guys. Michael Porter Jr. had 11, but he was 4 of 13 and 2 of 9 from 3. That's just, you need that to be a little better. Aaron Gordon had 11 points. He wasn't terrible. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope had 10. He actually was pretty solid. But off the bench, only getting 11 bench points, that's probably not going to work when you're talking about playing a team like the Phoenix Suns. You need to at least be competing with their bench. And what I always say when it comes to benches in the NBA, you don't have to have the best bench in the NBA, because if you do, that means your starters probably suck. But you do need to have a middle-of-the-pack kind of bench. They need to be contributing something to the game plan. And yes, these guys are not going to play as much in the playoffs, and you're going to have more like 8-man rotations. But they do have to be able to contribute somewhat on the offensive end of the court. And I mean, if you look at the plus minus, Jamal Murray was a +5, Aaron Gordon was a +7, Jokic was a +2. But Jeff Green off the bench was a -16, Bruce Brown -11, Christian Brown -10. Really, this game came down to the Suns. Others did a little better job tonight than the Denver Nuggets. If you're a Nuggets fan, don't freak out. If you're a Suns fan, series not locked up, but you feel very good about maybe the rhythm you're starting to catch. If you're a Denver fan, you're going back home for Game 5. You got to be pumped about that. All in all, just amazing to watch this game unfold. And I can't wait to watch Game 5 because, I think it's going to be fireworks. And I picked the Nuggets in this series, and I'm going to stick by that just because their points in the paint are unbelievable. And I think it's just that offense is so hard to stop that if Booker or Kevin Durant aren't playing an A+ game, then I think it's going to be hard for those Suns to score at the level that the Nuggets are. But hey, if they can play like they do and like they have, they're right there in that series. So all in all, great game to watch. Appreciate y'all watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Sabrogao.